It's weird. I've never introed a podcast.
Just extroed.
I mean, I guess I have introed, but I've also let them know. Yeah, let them know at the end of the last podcast before I did it. So I've done YouTube videos and stuff. It's different when they can see your face because you kind of have to project a little more when it's just your voice. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Surviving Darkness Podcast with Heather and Jenny. I am neither of those. I have Heather here with me, which is my mother, and I'm going to be asking her questions today. It is episode 47, and hopefully on 48, Jenny will be able to make it here, and I'll ask her questions. This is just kind of something different from what we normally do, just to change things up for a week. There's a lot of sad topics that we talk about. Some episodes are more funny than others, but I think that it will be questions that you might like to know. I know I would like to know some of them because some of them I do not know. And for the last question on here, I want to know what you guys think. I want you to put what you would answer to this last question. I'll remind you when we get to it. And I want you to put it on the Facebook post that announces this episode or email it to us. I really want to read these. You can mark whether or not you want them to be read. If I get really good answers, I might talk about them on the podcast. But I think it is a very important question, especially for my generation. So, are you ready?
I am.
Do you think that was a fine intro?
Yes, beautiful.
Okay. These first 10 questions I'm going to ask you. I want you to answer with your answer first, and then I want you to guess what Jenny's answer will be, and you'll do it second.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and get started. What is your favorite color?
Purple.
Okay. Well, what do you think Jenny's favorite color is?
Purple.
You think hers is also purple? Okay. Getting them typed out. What's your favorite book?
Oh my.
I told you some of
Wow.
these you're going to have to think.
Yeah. A book. Favorite book. That would be one that I would want to read more than once.
I think we know Jenny's. I think I know Jenny's. Given that she's read it to me probably twice.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I used to read all the time.
Just first answer that comes to your head. What's a book that you think of?
Huh.
I know you've been reading a lot of your spiritual books. That can be
Yeah,
an
I mean,
answer.
yeah.
You can say the Bible if you love reading the Bible, but
Yeah. I mean, I do. I like reading the Bible. It's like you find something new every single time you read the same scriptures. I mean, it's something else, something new jumps out. So maybe, yeah.
I feel like a lot of people think that's like a bland answer, but a lot of times that's a book people read a lot, and they go there for
that's
answers.
that's probably the one I read the most. I mean, that one in the Strongman book, and I also like that one, The Prayers That Rout Demons.
Mm-hmm.
I read that one out loud a lot.
Yes.
When I feel like I'm under attack.
As far as the other two, other than just the Bible, I feel like those are more tools.
Yeah.
Less of a favorite thing and more of a useful thing. I mean, you can enjoy something because it's useful, but the Bible has a lot of stories. You can get new things from it every time. So I feel like that's the right answer.
I mean, anything that you're going through, someone else in the Bible has gone through it. It might be a different time and different era, but everything that anybody's gone through, I mean, adultery, you got David who committed adultery, and he was a murderer, and he was like after God's own heart. It shows, I mean, it's you can relate. These people are a lot like us. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, that is one that I do like to read.
I had a guess for this for you. I figured you would either immediately go with the Bible, or you would think about something that you read as a child that helped you escape. Because I knew you read when you were
I wrote poems. That was my escape.
Gotcha.
I didn't so much, I read books when I was a teenager. A lot of them were like the romance books. And then I got into like the murder mystery, like Alex Cross and different books like that, where it's like you're reading this and this happened. And when you get to the end, it's totally not who you thought it was going to be. So I read a lot of those. I can't even remember the author that I have read like every book he had that came out.
Mm-hmm. I actually have a coworker that isn't necessarily spiritual, I wouldn't say, but she enjoys reading Christian books because they make her feel like some kind of way. They make her feel happy and everything.
I used to read a lot of Anne Rule, and a lot of her books were based off of real crimes. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, but then I started going to church and I got away from reading that stuff. It's like I wanted to feed my soul the good stuff. Mm-hmm. That's when I got away from secular music and stuff like that and listened to Christian music. Yeah. So,
what would you want your answer to be? Bible?
Yeah.
It kind of seems like it was leaning that way.
Yeah, the Bible.
What do you think Jenny's favorite book is?
Oh, The Wizard of Oz.
That's what I was thinking.
I was thinking Gone with the Wind, but I don't know that I've ever read the book.
Okay, well, here's that answer. What's your favorite movie?
Gone with the Wind. I have two favorites, actually. Jenny will guess both. Gone with the Wind and Pretty Woman were my two all-time favorite movies.
What do you think Jenny's favorite movie is?
Wizard of Oz.
Okay, what's your favorite food?
Pizza.
Pizza?
Yeah.
Good, consistent. And what do you think Jenny's favorite food is?
Yum Yum Roll.
That's what I thought you were going to answer. Cats or dogs?
Oh, Lord. That's hard. I like both.
I know, you have both. But if you had to pick. I know it's like picking between your children.
Well, it's hard because cats are more lovable. If you want to just have a lap cat. Well, most of them. I mean, she's lovable with me. She might not like anybody else, but she loves me.
Beats everybody up.
But then if you want one that like plays and stuff, you'd want more of a dog. Mm-hmm. I'd say a dog because they'll sleep with you, they'll play and everything.
I feel like dogs are pretty consistently a good animal. I feel like cats, you can get good cats and bad cats.
And cats are moody.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that you can't get a bad dog. I'm just saying I feel like there's a higher chance of getting a good dog.
Cats are more loners, I think.
Yeah.
They want lovin's when they want lovin's, and otherwise leave me alone. Dogs, I think they sense more, I think. They know when you're down and they're right there with you.
I think me and you both know Jenny's answer, though. What do you think Jenny's answer is?
Dogs.
Yep. Because she has plenty. This one's hard. I couldn't answer this question. What's your favorite song?
Oh, my. You ain't even gonna believe it. I can't fight this feeling anymore. It has been since I was a teenager.
I don't know what that song is. Don't know it.
You have to look it up.
I will after this.
I'm sure you've heard it.
Probably. I know the band.
I'm pretty sure it's already.
What do you think Jenny's favorite song is? I couldn't even shoot an arrow in the direction she listens to so much music.
She's like in every genre. I'm trying to think like a favorite. The Rose. Okay. I think that might be hers. I know it was Jackie's.
Okay. Dream destination, whether permanent or temporary, where would you like to go?
Oh my. I don't even have a dream destination.
I know Jenny enjoys her vacation. She goes on little trips, so hers might be a little more difficult because you got to answer for hers too.
I really like Virginia Beach. I like that area.
Okay.
I mean, I've been
so
there.
Would that be your answer even if money wasn't? No money, no passport, no hassle. You get a plane ticket and you can go to this place as long as you want.
Oh my.
Anywhere on the planet.
I don't.
Because I know we like Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
It's very simple. And you can put that answer. You're a pretty simple person for the most part.
I'm like, I can't think of anything that I've been like, I really want to go there.
I want to be Hawaii. I don't know why, One, I don't want to leave the United States.
I think Alaska would be nice. I mean, it's cold, but it's beautiful.
So which one would you rather have, Virginia Beach or Alaska? You don't
Let's
have to be
go
there
with
permanently.
Alaska. Let's go
Okay.
with Alaska.
Because I like my home. I wouldn't want to go to any place permanently. That's why I was like, it can be permanent, it can be temporary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think mine would be Hawaii. I like the mountains.
Yeah.
And it's beach and mountains. It's the best
Well,
of both
it's scary.
worlds.
I mean, they've got volcanoes in these mountains.
Yeah, but anything can happen. What do you think Jenny's dream destination would be, temporary or permanent?
Oh, Lord. Our dream destination. I don't know. I'm still here. I'm thinking. Our dream destination.
Yeah, that's hard for Jenny because I feel like she likes to go a lot of places.
She goes on her girl trips a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, they're going to Salem.
Mm-hmm.
I just sort of feel like she might be like a New England, that area, like a Massachusetts, Rhode Island type of person.
Okay.
Which, I mean, I had thought about Massachusetts would be a good place to go.
I don't know where she would want to go, even out of the country. My dream destination would be Hawaii in country. If this was actually true and I didn't have to fight for a passport or worry about getting stranded in a different country, I'd probably go to Japan.
I was gonna say you don't have to have a passport for Hawaii.
I know, that's what I'm saying. If it was United States territories, it'd probably be Hawaii.
Yeah. I don't know that I want to go to Japan.
I would. That and the language barrier. Wherever you go, you wouldn't have a language barrier.
Right.
So, I think that's decent answers for both of you. Favorite season, like of the year?
Summer.
Summer.
Yes.
What do you think Jenny's is? That's hard for me. I think it would be winter if it didn't get nasty, because I know she's like me. She burns up.
No, I'm thinking fall or summer. I'm gonna say fall.
Okay.
She likes to do the whole decorating.
Mine's got to be fall or winter. I like fall because of how it looks. I like winter because it's cold.
I like summer not because I stay cold, but swimming. I'm Aquarius. Although I'm not a sign person, I'm a water person.
There's a question about that later. What's your biggest pet peeve?
Oh, I got lots of pet peeves.
I know you do. The smallest things can tick you off, and it makes me laugh.
I'm gonna say my biggest pet peeve is inconsideration. Inconsiderate people.
That's fair.
You're not the only person on this earth.
And what do you think Jenny's biggest pet peeve is?
Being on time.
You can put it on there.
People that are always on time. That's a good one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, put that on there. That is a pet peeve of hers because she don't have to do it.
Probably people complaining about her always being late. That probably drives her nuts. I wonder if she's ever like
people
on time.
Expecting her to be on time. That's a pet peeve.
I wonder if she's ever on time, looks down at her watch and goes, I'm going to go park in this parking lot for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because if I'm there on time, they're going to think something's up.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, she's not going to hear this until after she answers.
Oh, yeah. And then it's, well, I'm going to be late, but it's okay. It's not 20 minutes late. Late's late.
Yeah. What's the longest distance you've been from home?
Drove to Florida.
So Florida.
Yeah.
Where do you think the furthest distance Jenny's been from home is?
Florida.
Florida. Y'all both got me beat. I don't leave this area. I think the furthest I've been is
that was a
Tennessee or
stupid
DC.
Thing.
I didn't even know you did that. Grandma told me.
Yeah.
But, and I know why Jenny went. That was for one of her surgeries, right?
Yeah, they go to Florida quite often. They're going to Florida again, I believe.
Never been. Dad went.
Yeah, they like to go there for vacations. They have, I think her husband has family or something there that they visit too while they're down there.
Yeah, they do. I thought that's who they stayed with.
Yeah.
whenever she had her surgery?
They did.
All right. These ones I don't have to write down, thank God.
Okay.
We're done with those. So, for anonymity, you can shorten names,
Okay.
obviously, because these will have some like names that you'll have to use, where you can use like relative description, like cousin and stuff like that. I don't know what that's called, and we'll call it relative description because you're
Okay.
saying how they are described relative to you.
Okay.
But
Okay.
who is your childhood best friend, and are you still friends with them?
I had a few. There was Regina and Christy. And yeah, I'm still friends with them. It's not like I hang out
Yeah,
with them,
you're an adult.
but it's one of the it's one of those that when you see them out, you could just like pick up conversation, and yeah, and I guess Amy would be another one that I was friends with for quite a few years.
And you're still friends with all of them, or?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a difference between friends like in high school and friends as an adult. I'm still friends with my friends, but I don't talk to them every day.
Yeah.
You don't have forced interaction.
Right.
So it's kind of.
I'm such a loner.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I don't know. I just don't look for a conversation. I'm fine by myself.
This is a branch off question. I didn't write it down, but I'm kind of curious. What do you think they would think if they listened to your podcast? Do you think they knew?
I think that one wouldn't be as surprised as the others because one of them's mom was one who actually tried to help me.
Gotcha.
But the rest, I think they would be surprised.
I just kind of wanted to branch off of that because I was like, I wonder what my friends would think if something like that happened to me.
Right.
Who was your biggest inspiration growing up?
Biggest inspiration.
Yeah, while you were growing up.
My grandma.
Grandma.
Yeah.
Your mom's mom or your dad's mom? Well,
I didn't know my dad's mom.
I was getting ready to say.
Mom's mom. She was just, she was consistent.
Yeah. That makes sense. Who's your biggest inspiration now? Or do you even have one? There's no one you look up to that.
No. There's no one that I would aspire to be like.
Do you lose that as you get older? Do you feel like?
I think so. I think as you get older, you get more comfortable in your own skin, and you just try to do you the best that you can, and not so much emulate other people.
I really thought you were going to cookie cutter the answer to this question. I thought you were saying God. We should all strive to be more like.
Well,
but yeah, that's the answer I wanted. Like,
yeah.
To be honest, I mean, not that saying that wouldn't be honest.
Yeah, I don't know that there's anyone that inspires me in that way. I guess that is an age thing.
I can see it being that. I feel like there are older people that still have inspirations. I guess it more so depends on what your goals are in life.
Right.
I feel like a lot of people get stagnant in their life. They settle for what they have.
Right.
So then, I'm not saying you are.
Right.
I'm just saying I feel like you kind of lose that.
I mean, there's things that I feel like I would, not so much that I would want, like I don't want fame and all of that, but I feel almost like God will eventually lead me into like evangelism. Beth Moore, or I'm not going to be another Joyce Meyer, but sort of along that.
Well, that kind of sounds like your answer is getting closer to like God. You're looking up to him as like, he will do with me what he wants.
Right.
Which I feel like is a fair point.
Yeah.
I don't know what mine would be. And I'm excited to hear Jenny's. I don't know what hers will be either. But we'll get on to the next question. Are you done with that?
Yeah, I got a song just going through my head.
Did you know your spouse in school? If
Yeah.
so, how do you think your younger self would feel about your marriage?
I've known him pretty much my whole life. My younger self, I think that where we are now was where we probably always should have been, but we took different paths. I think there was always sort of an attraction and a knowing that we were going to wind up being together.
Mm-hmm.
It's just weird because
Yeah.
we're so opposite.
Mm-hmm.
At least we definitely were then. I was more academic, like quiet, and he was more crazy.
Yeah. So you think your younger self would be happy?
Yeah. Yeah.
I like your husband.
I don't like you.
He's a good stepdad.
Yeah.
He does his best. And I know that he takes care of you. And I think that has to do with y'all growing up together.
Right.
I think he's one of the only people that knew what he was getting into marrying you.
Probably. But
So-
even he's seen the sides of crazy that he didn't know were there.
Oh,
So it's
yeah.
all good.
If you could tell your younger self one thing, what would it be? Yeah, that one's a little odd for your situation.
That it's all going to be okay. That I guess maybe my older self telling my younger self, I see you.
Yeah.
I see. I understand. And I'm sorry that you're going through that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be what I would tell my younger self. You're going to be okay, and it's all going to be all right.
That makes sense.
Things that I didn't hear.
I feel like there's two answers of someone that went through your scenario would be. I feel like that's one of them, as in like you'll get through it, or another one being like run. But I didn't think you'd pick like run or get away from it.
That was never an option. I tried to get help, which would have been to run.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the time for me to be able to get out.
That's fair. If you could have one person in your life longer, dead or alive, who would it be?
My grandpa.
Grandpa.
Yeah.
It's a fair answer.
I think a lot of things would have been different if he was alive because of the relationship that I had with him. I think I could have talked to him. I would have felt safe with him. And he definitely would have protected me.
I feel like that's kind of the same for me about your dad, but more so with what I'm learning now because I have questions for him.
Yeah.
That I will never get answered.
Right.
And I don't hold anything against
I mean,
your
we
dad.
still have questions that we'll never have answered because one, we don't know what's true and what's not when stuff comes out of his mouth.
I just more or less want to know if the way he treated us was more fake.
Yeah.
I don't think it was. But now I'm like, It's just all a little weird. Like the difference between what me and Ryan saw
and what we went through.
What y'all went through is very different. I just kind of would like to ask him what changed or stuff like that.
I think it's fear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that he wasn't going to do that to you all because we had started standing up to him, and he knew that if anything happened with you all or any of our nieces, anything like that, that we would have had him locked up. Yeah. I think that I think a lot of it was fear.
That's fair. Who was your safety adult or adult you felt safest around? I know that's kind of a tough question.
I felt, I guess, the safest around my grandma, but I didn't really, I can't say that there is any adult that I felt safe around. Janet was another one that I felt really safe around, but there's no one that I felt safe enough, evidently.
Because of your scenario going on. You didn't get out of it, so obviously you didn't feel.
I talked to one person, and She did help out, but
Yeah.
it didn't go nowhere. And I saw how she was ostracized because of it. And
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't going to put anybody else in that position. So there wasn't a whole lot of people that I did feel safe around.
And being in your scenario, I feel like that's kind of justified.
But I
feel
also
like
had
that's
a forced safety with my dad
Yeah.
because he was everything that was going on, what he was telling us, everything that was going on, he was just doing to protect us.
Yeah.
He was keeping us safe.
You were getting gaslit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And brainwashed
Yes.
into thinking that he was our savior. He was the only one that was keeping us safe, and then at the same time, he was the one hurting us the worst.
Yeah, I can see that, especially from hearing all this stuff. Do you think your younger self would be proud of yourself now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I do, but I think that my younger self still had the ambitions of being like a psychologist or a lawyer, but not the guts to go actually do it. Didn't have the self-confidence, nor was I able to.
Yeah. We'll get back on that a little later. I have occupation questions
Okay.
too. What trait do you think is your best? Be it physical or like spiritual or personality.
I think my strength.
Like strong mental strength.
Yeah. Because I think anybody can tell me anything and it's not gonna break me.
Yeah.
I mean, I've come close. But I bounce back.
Yeah.
I'm resilient.
That's fair. What trait do you think is your worst?
My temper. But it's getting better.
It is.
My anxiety.
Yeah.
I mean, I can throw myself into anxiety just for no reason.
Yeah.
I can be laying in bed and think of the stupidest stuff.
Overthinking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be laying in bed and think about heights and throw myself into a panic attack. I'm not even standing on a bridge. Why am I scared?
I feel like that's a big thing for my generation, too. I feel like a lot of us have anxiety because we overthink everything.
That's possible.
And not to throw your generation under the bus, but I think it's because of how much the younger generation is criticized. Yeah. Everything we do is like super right, super wrong. We don't get the chance to learn. We immediately get criticized, which is fine, but you and Dad were different. But I do know a lot of people my age that their parents were just super tough on them. And I get it that they love them and didn't want them to go through that stuff. You got to let your kids learn.
But I see more with your generation of parents not being involved.
Yeah.
I mean, I think maybe what you're talking about is more direct contact, direct people. But if you look at the generation as a whole, yours was more of an electronics generation.
I feel like that's later. I feel like that's more the generation after me. Our generation didn't have phones till we were in middle school.
Yeah.
Like a lot of us didn't.
Right.
I feel like a couple years younger than me.
Yeah.
Definitely. Maybe. And I feel like that did separate the generations as electronics.
And both parents had to work. Mm-hmm. And I think that a lot of parents were more about what they wanted, and sort of kids were a little bit of an inconvenience.
That's fair. We're going to wrap it back in a little more. Not up. You still got a lot more questions. But what do you think your mother's best trait is?
That one's a little tough. I feel like I have two different moms right now.
Yeah.
I have the mom that I grew up with and the traits that she had then, and then I have the mom that I have now that is totally different because of, I feel like, the cognitive issues. But my mom's always been a very caring person.
I agree. I think your mom cares about everyone pretty much. And
right.
That's a good thing. What was your father's best trait? That one's harder. But
manipulation.
Yeah. Do you have anything good about him?
He was good at that.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. He was a giving person. I mean, he would if someone was in need, we would go without.
Yeah.
For them to have what they needed. I mean, it was like if we didn't have a lot of food and somebody had no food, we were going to give them half of what we had, whether we had much at all or not.
I guess is a good trait, but also not. I mean,
It is, but it's not.
Yeah.
Because now I wonder if it was for just a pat on the back.
Yeah. I mean, I could see
and
that.
He's another savior complex.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. I'll take care of you.
I'm going to answer those two. My mother's best trait. I think the best trait that she has is being able to be stern with you, but still make you feel loved. She is very straightforward, but she doesn't make you feel bad over it. And as far as my dad's best trait, he's just always there. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to explain it. He just always is. There was a point in my life where he wasn't as much, but that was more so him trying to find himself.
Right.
So I don't blame him for that. Right. But every time I need him, he's just there. Not that you aren't, but
right.
Do you have a life motto?
It is what it is.
A little deeper. What do you think the point of life is? Point of life is. Oh my gosh.
What is the point of life?
Yeah. What do you think it is?
Oh. The point of life.
Yep.
The point of everybody or anybody living? Or me in general?
Whatever you want to answer. I'd say you in general.
My point in life. Like why I was put here? My purpose? I'm just having a hard time understanding what that question.
You're born and you die. What do you think everybody as an individual, what do you think we are born to do?
Reproduce.
Okay, so
to fill the earth, to keep
the cycle going.
Yeah, to keep the cycle going, keep population on the earth.
That's fair. I don't know what I think the plan of life is. I feel like that's for the longest time I thought that the whole point in life was gathering people to come to your funeral to make a difference in people's life, and then they'll remember you.
Well, that's what I was saying, the dash.
Yeah.
Between when you're born and when you die, that dash in between.
Yeah.
What is your dash?
But I don't know. It's all weird. Do you believe in astrology? Like star signs and stuff?
No.
What causes such as charities or ethical beliefs do you strongly support? You can opt out of this.
Charities or
ethical beliefs.
I believe in supporting the church because the church supports not only their people but the people in the community that need help too.
I believe that everybody should be able to eat.
Yeah.
So churches do that too.
Right.
They help feed people. So
right.
I think that would be more so mine, yeah.
And if I ever got rich, I would open a homeless shelter. That has been like a dream of mine since I was like in high school. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't want it to be like a institution.
Yeah.
I would want like an open kitchen. I would want like apartments for families so that moms and dads or whoever can be in there, feel like they have a home for their kids until they are stable enough to really have a home for their kids.
So what people are proposing we do with abandoned schools and malls, where they turn like individual classrooms into apartments with their own kitchens and stuff.
Right.
And as far as malls having, I mean, I guess it's more of an institution.
Even if it would like, they could have their own kitchen or it could be a community kitchen because I wouldn't want someone to have more than someone else or feel like, my kids can't eat today because they've already been through all that.
Mm-hmm.
My kids can't eat today because I don't have this in my cabinet or whatever.
I see people proposing doing that with malls, having like food courts that you can go to that are either free or low money stuff.
Right.
As well as like community kitchens and stuff.
Right.
I think that would be nice.
Right.
Do you have any other input on that?
Well, I mean, that's just something I've thought about, having like a game room. I mean, game.
Okay. It really sounded like you said a gay room.
A game.
Gay!
A game room. Just a place where people feel at home.
Mm-hmm. Especially
instead of
people that don't
institutionalized. Yeah.
know that.
And being judged and everything else, that a judgment-free place.
Mm-hmm. What was your dream job growing up?
It changed. I wanted to be a lawyer, but I also wanted to be a psychologist or a psychiatrist. But both I sort of felt like I couldn't do because of, like, I felt like I couldn't be a psychiatrist or a psychologist because if people found out what all I had been through, then I'm mentally damaged, and how does a mentally damaged person help other people? And then as far as being a lawyer, I felt like all the stuff that had happened, I always carried the guilt. Like it was my fault. So I was always afraid that people would find out and then I would go to prison.
Well,
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Now. But that's what I felt at the time.
I understand that. What is your current job or most recent job? Like occupation wise?
I did occupational therapy for many, many years.
I knew the answer to that one. Do you think your younger self would be happy with that occupation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I helped people over the years.
This one sounds more like a Indeed question than a question for you. Would you suggest your job to others?
No. I mean,
somebody's got to do it.
Maybe a different setting. Maybe like a school setting or something like that. But one where there's a lot of physical strenuous activity on a daily basis, no, because over the years you wear and tear on your own body too.
That's fair. If money wasn't a factor, what job would you want?
If money wasn't a factor, what would I do now? Is basically right.
Yeah, but I mean, you have a debit card that has a endless cap.
Right. So I could. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. What? That was hard too.
That is a hard one. I don't even know what my answer would be.
Like, would I go into counseling? Would I do hair and stuff, since I've always really liked doing hair? I don't know. I think it would be more of a counselor, that kind of area where I can actually interact with people and hear and listen to what they've gone through and be able to understand where they're coming from.
Makes sense. I feel like a common answer to this question would be teaching. Because I feel like a lot of people want to be teachers and they see the money that they make and they get out of it.
I don't know.
I think teaching would be a good job. I'd like to teach.
Yeah.
But I couldn't live on the amount of money that teachers make.
I don't know that I want to be a teacher, because I could do that.
Yeah.
With my degrees, I could go get a certificate and teach.
If you could start a business, what would it be? Yet again, no budget.
A restaurant.
A restaurant.
I like to cook.
That's fair. I feel like job and business is a little different. You don't have to be hands-on in a business.
Yeah.
You can start the business and go do whatever you want.
Right.
So that's why I made those separate questions.
Yeah, I think, but see, if I did that, then that would fall into counseling too. I'd like to have a place where people just feel open to just hang out, eat, whatever.
That's fair. What makes you feel accomplished?
Having kids
Yeah, I figured that would be.
that are semi-successful. No, just kidding.
Semi.
No, I think that having kids that have turned out to be decent human beings is an accomplishment in itself. And the fact that you're still alive. I
Yeah.
kept you alive for 21 years and 23.
You did. That you did. What do you want your next big purchase to be?
House.
New house.
Yeah.
Well, new to you.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I feel like that's a question a lot of younger people get, but adults don't get as much.
In 5 years.
Yep.
Huh. In 5 years, where do I see myself? A little bit more financially stable in our own home, which I sort of feel like that sounds like I'm homeless and broke.
Yeah.
But just in between selling houses and figuring out where and what.
You own a house. You just don't live in the house. I just don't live in it.
Right. So I guess maybe being financially stable will be where I see ourselves in 5 years. That's my goal.
I gotcha. I have another question, but you kind of answered it. I was going to say, what's your biggest accomplishment? Because you have a biggest one, and then you have what makes you feel accomplished. Like, I don't know. I feel like I could have worded those better.
Like, my education is like one of my biggest accomplishments.
Okay. Because I feel like that's two separate things. Something that makes me feel accomplished is helping others. I feel like I've done something.
Right.
But that's not my biggest accomplishment, if that makes sense. That's why those are separate questions.
The education, I think, was one of my biggest accomplishments.
I feel like that's
that, and I think becoming ordained was a big accomplishment for me.
All right. Well, on to the last question. Are you happy to have this over with, pretty much?
Does all these questions?
Yes. You don't mind it?
No.
It's different. It's different for the podcast.
It definitely is a brain picker.
Is it a good change of pace? Are you enjoying it?
It is, and it's made me really, I guess, think.
Are you excited to hear Jenny's?
Yeah.
I feel like hers are going to jump more.
Going to be squirrely.
Yeah. I can definitely see that. Do you think Jenny is going to get all 10 of the first questions of what you picked? Probably.
Yeah.
I feel like she has a higher chance of getting all yours than you have of getting all hers.
Yeah.
I feel like hers changes more.
Yeah.
That being said, I thought your favorite color was turquoise.
No, I like that color. But purple is...
You do everything blue. Your whole kitchen at your house.
Everything,
last house was blue.
But I like purple.
I get it. I like purple too. Purple's probably my favorite color.
I just don't... Like, I've seen videos or pictures of purple Christmas, and it's gorgeous. I would love a purple Christmas.
Yeah.
I don't know. But you're right. Most of the stuff that I buy is blue. And most of the stuff that I do is blue, but my actual favorite color is purple.
Yeah. I mean,
blue is sense. More, I guess, it's more adaptable with anything.
That's fair.
So maybe that's why I do blue shirts, blue jeans, the stuff. I can wear more colors. I can wear purple with my blue.
I feel like blue might be your comfort color. That's a thing that exists. You can have a favorite color and a comfort color.
Yeah.
A color that you attach with like being happy or productive and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because you always have done
blue house with blue windows.
You've always done your common rooms blue for the most part, or like a light color like that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be like a peaceful color.
Yeah, and I feel like that's fair. I think blue is a common one.
Yeah, I just almost feel like it's neutral. Yeah. For me. I mean, a lot of people, tans and browns and stuff like that is a neutral for them. Whereas a blue is a neutral for me because I can put any other color up against the blue and it's going to look fine.
I gotcha. All right, so on to the last question. This is the one that I want people to go and answer on the Facebook post for this episode. If you have answer to any of these other questions, you can comment them on there too. I think that'll be interesting to hear what the people listening would say to these. But this one I really do want to hear. What message do you have to the younger generation? Yeah.
What message do I have? Eat your broccoli. No, just kidding.
Yeah, just instantly nagging.
I don't know. It's such a scary world right now. Well, they haven't really found themselves. So I was like, don't lose yourself in the craziness. It just depends on the age group. Like if I was talking to someone Jenny's kid's age or a teenager,
say people
like if it's a teenage person, I would be like, find yourself and stick to that. Okay. Don't lose sight of who you are.
I feel like that's fair. That's kind of what I was looking for, like a younger age group. I'm shooting more like 17 to early 20s.
There's just so much that age group deals with that we didn't deal with. Mm-hmm. I mean, suicide and stuff was not. I mean, it was like few and far between. It was not as rampant as it is now. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a means or an escape. It was just not thought of, and that is there. Then the drugs and stuff are so much more prevalent than what they were when I was growing up. I mean, marijuana was like the bad thing. You did not want to be called a pothead. Yeah. And now there's so much more that you have to worry about. There's so much that they have to navigate through now. And it would be so easy to lose focus on what you want for your future because of all the stuff that's there that you can get into in the present. Mm-hmm. So I would say figure out who you are, what you want out of life, and don't let go of it. Yeah. Put those blinders on.
That's fair.
And eat your broccoli.
Yeah. Yuck. I'm not eating no
your
broccoli.
Spinach. Eat your greens.
That's a odd one. Like, obviously, I am the younger generation. I mean, I don't have really anything to say to a younger generation. I mean, people in high school and stuff, maybe more so of don't change who you are to fit in with your friends and your surroundings.
Yeah, which is basically what I was
exactly.
Because people do that age group is bad. That's when you're trying to find yourself.
Yes, and you're
the peer pressure is so.
That's what
strong.
I was gonna say.
Yeah,
you change your personality based on who you're around, and you shouldn't do that.
That was one thing I did not do.
Yeah,
I was who I was, and if I thought that one of my friends was doing something they shouldn't have been doing, I would tell them, you need to not be doing that. Whether they did it or not was on them. I just didn't join in.
Yeah,
I was like, you do whatever you want to go do, even though you know it's wrong. But I'm not going with you.
Yeah. I feel like I was kind of in the middle in high school, especially. Like, if it was something completely against my personal being, yeah.
I was so straight-laced.
Yeah.
Like, senior skip day, I was at home painting the bathroom. Oh they called the house. I answered the phone. They were like, we just wanted to let you know that Heather's not in school today. I said, I know I'm not. Do your parents know? I said, yeah, I'm painting the bathroom. We're all good. I didn't want to be the only senior going to school on senior skip day, but I didn't go to the river or drinking or anything that other people did on senior skip day.
Every day for me was senior skip day. I don't.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't know that we had a senior skip day, but I don't guess I would know because I didn't go half of the time anyways.
So I never skipped school. I never my friends and I went somewhere that we shouldn't have gone. I had friends that did skip school, but I'd be like, y'all go do your thing. I'm staying right here. So I was boring.
Yeah, I can see that.
But a lot of my friends had kids like our senior year, before our senior year, or like right after we graduated.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I wasn't too much in school.
no, you weren't. Trust me, I know you weren't.
I did a lot of stupid things in school though, like not enough to get me in trouble, but just in general. Like on my yellow card, how they get a hold of your parents and stuff. For my last 3 years of high school, y'all weren't the ones on there. It was your names, but my phone number. So they'd call y'all about like I'd have teachers be like, "I'm gonna call your parent." I'd be like, "Call them." They call me, and I'd answer. And then eventually, like, I guess yeah, that was probably 10th grade. It was my music appreciation teacher that was like, "Give me your dad's phone number," and she was the one that just was insufferable. And she called dad, and he was basically just like, "Okay," because it was for something silly. Like we were watching a movie or something, and I wasn't paying attention to the movie. It was music appreciation class, and we were watching a musical. You're gonna make a teenage boy sit through a musical.
Well, I think a lot of my issues were the driver's ed teacher my mom knew quite well and actually babysat his kids, and the principal of the school I went to church with. So
That's fair.
I knew if I got in any kind of trouble, there was no hiding it. One, my mom was going to be embarrassed because her kid can't behave when we go to church with the principal. And two, if I got into anything, they would know.
I feel like I was pretty mild just as a person. So I feel like y'all wouldn't have cared too much if I got in trouble, because 9 times out of 10, if I did, I felt like it was justified. I didn't do anything like to be a menace, I feel like was the thing. The only times I got in trouble, most of the time the principal would send me back to class and be like, "You're not wrong for that."
I think the only time I went to the principal's office, I was in grade school and we were racing at the bus stop, and we got in trouble for that because somebody stole my lunch money, and I got in trouble because we were racing.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have been racing at the bus
stop. I got sent to the principal office senior year because I walked in the classroom without a mask and my teacher got mad at me. And I was like, "Well, sorry," like being kind of sarcastic about it, because she made a big deal out of it. And I was kind of mean. I was like, "Sorry." And she didn't like my attitude, so she sent me to the office. Find out over our break, she had a family member pass away from COVID. So she was upset over that. Because, I mean, I didn't carry a mask with me all the time, especially not after like winter break. That wasn't the thing on the forefront of my mind. So I went to the office because she told me to, and I explained to the principal what happened, and he let me know what happened with her. So I was like, "Do you have a mask?" I was like, I'll go back to class." I was like, "I'm not going to cause any problems with her." I didn't think I caused that much of a problem in the first place. I just didn't know I was getting yelled at 7 o'clock in the morning. So when I had went back to class, she was like, "Can I speak to you outside?" And I was like, "Absolutely." She was like, "That was wrong of me." And I was like, "Thank you." I was like, "But I didn't know what you were going through either. I'm sorry for your loss," and everything like that. Basically talk like adults. I feel like that's what a lot of people don't do anymore.
Right.
You got to talk like an adult sometimes.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of teachers look down on younger kids just because they're younger. But I was 18 or close to 18 at the time. I mean, I'm almost an adult. I respect it when, especially teachers and stuff, treat you like adults.
Okay, is it because of how you were treated growing up that you were able to talk to adults on more of an adult level at 17, 18 years old? Like, I taught y'all to be independent.
Yes.
I would say, because as soon as you all were able to put your pants on by yourself, I quit. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm not doing it for you. Even the days when you didn't want to, I was like, I've already seen it. I know you can do it. So I pushed that independence on you all. And I think it's because I felt so dependent on everybody for everything growing up.
So I've talked to Dad about this before too, and I think it's more so that when we were younger, you and Dad taught us right and wrong and kind of just how to carry ourselves. And he kind of just threw us out into the world. So I feel like a lot of the people when I was in high school were learning things that I learned in middle school. I got started earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time I was in high school, I had already got used to talking to adults like adults and everything like that. I feel like people are, I mean, I'm not going to say babied, but
I feel like I
protected a little too
sheltered
long.
y'all a lot. So
For a while, you were like very Christian straight edge. We couldn't listen to any like secular music. Don't you dare read a Goosebumps book.
well, the thing is I felt scared for you all.
Yeah.
That was my fear of you all, and you were being tormented too.
Yeah.
Not the same way that we had been tormented, but you were being aggravated and everything too. And I was like, if you open the door, if you give an inch, the enemy's going to take a mile.
I feel like me watching Pokemon as a kid wouldn't have changed that.
That pocket monster stuff.
Yeah. Because I could see like the thought of it being bad. And I know a lot of things are hidden under a different guise.
Right.
I don't think that's one of them. These things are not meant to be scary. They're not meant to cause fear. I feel like Goosebumps is kind of justified because I did get scared after reading them.
Right. Right.
But I got scared after a lot of things. I got Red Ring of Death on my Xbox and got scared because it was a red light that scared me.
Right.
But
yeah.
I don't
But
know.
if you've seen a lot of stuff like that, then
Well, it kind of etched in my brain. Like I saw that red light and it made me think of seeing red eyes.
yeah,
So that
Yeah.
kept me up at night because I would think about that.
red eye. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a big thing that we saw a lot too.
I guess it kind of brought back a memory that
If we saw
had,
nothing else, we saw red glowing eyes.
which I feel like is understandable.
Right. So we've managed to go about an hour.
Just about, yeah.
Just talking random now. Yeah, I've enjoyed this segment.
I'm excited
Or
for
episode.
Jenny's. I was going to wait until 1 year to do this, like episode 52. But I figured it's getting near the end of the year and Jenny wasn't able to make it, so I'd go ahead and do that.
Right.
And next week I'll ask her.
And
Her
then we'll
questions.
be ready for episode 50.
This is 47, not 49. Well,
Yeah.
so this will be 47. Next week will be 48. And
Yeah.
then we'll have 2 more. And then we'll be
Okay,
on to 50.
gotcha.
But 52 makes a year.
I know. Wow.
We missed one podcast, so technically we'll be a week late from our like anniversary. We missed Thanksgiving this year.
Right.
So
Wow.
I think a year would be what, the 19th of January? I can't remember when our first episode was.
I don't remember right off either.
But anyways,
Wow.
I think that's probably about
It's hard
good.
to believe that it's been almost a year.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the change of scenery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything changes.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been longer than a year to me. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
It's felt like forever.
So we've got this episode, and I've got part 2 of the introduction to the
Yes.
spiritual warfare stuff coming.
Yes.
Probably the beginning of the week it'll be aired.
Probably on Tuesday.
Okay. All right.
I
I'm
think-
ready to go.
I think Tuesday's a good break. Tuesday and Friday.
Okay. So just keep your eyes open for that,
Yes.
because it's coming, part 2. And then we'll dwell into more of the spirits.
And if you want to see our Spotify Wrapped results, they're up on our Facebook page.
That was pretty awesome. We're in 3 different countries,
Yeah.
more so in the United States.
Yeah. Let me pull it up real quick.
We got 5 stars.
Yes.
We are a 5-star podcast. We had like 48 people that listen regularly. So it was nice to see those because we don't really see who or how many actual are consistent. There's one person I think that's watched like every episode. Jenny said she's not sure, but it might be her.
Yeah, probably. But we are the #1 podcast for 48 people in 2024.
That's it. Yeah.
Which is insane.
Right.
And we are top 3 for, I think, 55 or something, 54, 55.
Yeah.
So happy with that. And hopefully those numbers are higher next year. But even if they're not,
we're consistent.
Yep. We could keep things going. So,
right.
Well, I just heard Jenny walk in. So
yeah,
we're going to let everybody go. This was episode 47. Thank you all for listening. You can check out our website. We haven't said this for like the last few weeks.
Yes.
But you can check out our website at www.survivingdarknesspodcast.com. You can buy merchandise such as shirts, tumblers, phone cases, things like that. You can access all our episodes through whatever platform you would like on the website. And yeah.
Be sure to answer that last question.
Yes, please go on Facebook or email.
I mean, you can do it on Spotify too, where it has the comments. You can answer on Spotify. Yeah. So yeah, just give us your input on that last one. It would be interesting to see just what everybody's different thoughts are to say to the younger generation.
Yep. And if there's any other questions that we answered today that y'all want to answer on that as well, we'll read all of them.
Yes, we'll make it an interactive, fun episode.
Yes, we will read them all. Just let us know what question you're answering.
Yes.
So thank you all for listening, and we'll let you get on with the rest of your day.